Hello, welcome to Den T, where we will talk about different topics from our opinion of our generations. I'm Ms. B, I'm representing Gen X.
I'm Cookie, and I'm representing the millennials. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you comment, make sure it's positive. We're all about the good vibes here.
That's right. So, the first topic we're getting down with today is we're going to talk about slip or not. So, we have been noticing, my generation have been noticing a lot of young ladies out here in these streets just showing everything because they're not wearing slips because that's, I guess, old school. But it does prevent people from seeing straight through your dresses and seeing unsightly bulges of your underwear when you have it on. Um, so please start wearing your slips again because we need it.
Now,
Now, slips don't only protect us from being able to see straight through your dress. Slips also protects the woman's skin um, from some fabrics. You might notice sometimes something that you wear gives you a rash. Well, if you had a slip on to protect you from that fabric, you wouldn't get that rash. And also, slip helps with static cling. So there are times when maybe your dryer sheet did not work as well. You have on that slip, and you won't get that static cling and that fabric sticking in between the crack of your butt.
all right, Miss
And
B.
just also,
I hear what you're saying. I hear you. I feel you sometimes. But I just think there's just this way that it feels like your generations and some of the generations before you that our bodies are supposed to be hidden. It just feels like, what's wrong with seeing underwear? Everyone wears underwear. What do you mean, unsightly bulge of the underwear? Why can't someone else know I have what almost everybody wears? Like, isn't that strange? And I know you say that it's to protect your skin sometimes, but when it was used to protect skin, it was actually around the Renaissance period when your clothing was more restrictive, and so you and mostly made out of like wool and heavier materials, rougher materials. We don't really have that now. You can buy something comfy, you can buy something soft. So why do you need a slip? And I know in most cases you're talking about for church, but most of like church wear have slips and that inner lining already. Clothes didn't have that when slips were mostly made.
now with the dresses that have the inner lining, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm talking about is the ones that don't, and I can see straight through your dress. I don't want to see straight through your dress. And I don't want to see your underwear either.
Everyone wears underwear. And if you don't want to see, stop looking. I haven't noticed the person's underwear unless I looked.
It's called underwear for a reason because it's underneath. We don't want to see it. But I do know that there are people today who have a lot of skin issues, and it is because of the fabric. And even though the fabrics are different and more comfortable, they're still made um, with, I guess, chemicals and things that still causes problem for certain people. And I don't really know if this is medical or not, but people who have eczema and with certain materials rubbing against the skin irritates it a little bit more. So if you had that slip in between there, it might be a little better. Just saying.
Like I said, I agree with you on some points, but I don't feel like that's something to go after someone for, you know? If someone has skin issues and they don't want to wear a slip, you know? Why is that an issue? When I was little and getting ready to go to church, y'all would treat a slip like it was such a necessity. And I would be in so much trouble, or y'all would talk, so harsh to me if I couldn't find a slip or forgot a slip. And I feel like it should have been more, I shouldn't have had so much anxiety about going to church. It shouldn't have been so much about what I was wearing and stuff like that. It should have been more like, hey, we're going to church, Let's go. Not, do you have your slip? Do you have your stockings? You don't even have stockings your color. Well, you just gonna have to wear these, It just, we focus on the wrong thing sometimes.
I can agree with our generation being a little bit more based on tradition as opposed to um, feelings and um, the niceties of everything. But I think it's that generational structure that has kept our people going in a direction. I think a lot of the younger people are truly lost. They're not following any traditions, so you don't have that direction of where structure, just that basic structure.
I get that. And it does feel like we are losing a lot of the basics when it comes to each generation. And it feels like the reason, or from what I see, it feels like every generation tries to overly not do whatever the last generation did to them. Just like how you said, no matter what you started when you were younger, grandma made you finish it. You played the clarinet because once you started, you couldn't stop playing it. And then when it came to me, and you started me playing the piano, I told you I didn't want to play, and you didn't make me stay in it. And sometimes I wish that you had. And now that I have Nathaniel, I'm kind of torn in between the middle because he was in soccer. You could tell he didn't like soccer at all, but I didn't want to let him stop because I didn't want to, do like how you did me, and I ended up like with Nathaniel in soccer. I was just torn on whether I should push like grandma and have that worry of being, having him be upset at me like you were at grandma for being forced to stay and stuff, or being not pushed like you did for me and having him be upset at me for not pushing him for something he could be good at. So I think a lot of the loss of traditions is the fact that we push our children so hard in one direction, and then when they grow up, because they dislike the direction they were pushed in, they totally rebel.
Okay. I agree with that. I totally agree. So basically, what you're saying is these young women are not wearing slips because because we were pushed into it, and
Now they're
now
like,
they do not.
I'm grown. I'm not going to wear nothing.
I am not wearing anything. I'm just going to walk around and pee the crack in my butt.
But it kind of feels like we didn't really resolve what we were talking about.
Okay.
Or do you feel like we resolved it?
Uh, basically, we agreed that yes, it was because,
Hmm.
what do we say? Because each generation tried to make it a little different for the next generation and end up um, maybe taking away a little piece of what's needed. Maybe I didn't need to be as harsh as your granny was, but then I should have been a little bit uh, more stick to something and do this because not only did you stop doing piano, you stopped ballet and tap dancing, you stopped the gymnastics, you
Hmm.
stopped karate,
Hmm.
you stopped the band with the xylophones because it was taking too long to get to the drums.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So I agree. Each generation go a little too far in changing that thing that upset them during their time. I don't know if you can put that in a more articulate way than what I just did, because it just sounds like I'm bumbling, fumbling.
You're more articulate than I am. I mean, yeah, that sounds about right. It just, I wish there was a way for, I just wish there was a way for the generations to get along a little better. And I guess that's why we're doing something like this, where we can talk about it and explain both of our points of views from a mother, Generation Y,
X.
to X, okay, Generation X, who was parented by whatever generation grandma was, to parenting a millennial who is a parent of Alpha. What is my son? I don't even know. Yeah. But it just, I guess that was the what I'm hoping for this podcast is for us to kind of explain what we felt and how we're channeling it towards our next generation so that we can not overcompensate. Because if I didn't know that the reason that you let me get away with dropping all that stuff was because grandma pushed you for everything, then I wouldn't be torn between how much to let Nathaniel get away with and not get away with. I would have just let him, I just would have stuck him in soccer and made him do it. But because I knew what you went through, it made me try to fix for both of us instead of just fix for me.
Okay. The silent generation is also known as the traditionalist generation.
That makes sense.
So that's where tradition came, that tradition thing came in,
Started.
you know, that
Yeah.
because she was strict on keeping the traditions.
I just feel like if each generation spoke more about what their generation went through and what their generation learned and why, instead of just trying to hammer in what they want for their next generation, that we would understand more. Because, like I was saying,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have tried to not push Nathaniel into soccer if I didn't know that the reason that you didn't push me was because grandma pushed you.
Yes.
So that's what I'm hoping for with this. I hope to learn from you, and I also hope to express my feelings and my side so that we can get together and, with the people who are watching, with the commenters and stuff, tell us how you feel about slips or not. Tell us what you're feeling, what your thoughts are, so that we can all come together and help our next generation not only learn why I don't wear slips and haven't in years, but why you wear them and why you want to, so that we can understand and teach the younger group why we want to and why we don't want to, so they can decide for themselves whether they want to or don't.
And also drop in that comment section, what generation are you?
Exactly. We want to hear them all.
So thank you so much for joining us today and talking about the generations. And we hope you come back and visit with us again. We would like to see you subscribe and be on this channel with us. And let's get a little closer to our family by understanding the difference in the generations.
Yes, definitely. And as a little hopeful push for you, we would like to do a raffle with the one new subscriber who is not a family member, because we expect family to subscribe anyway. So, one new subscriber through either Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, we will give $25 just as a thank you for subscribing. So, everyone who's listening, go ahead and subscribe. You have about a week until we'll stop the checking, and we'll just get one person at random from there who's not family. Thank you so much for watching.
And we hope to see you soon. Hope to see you soon. Hope to see you
See
soon.
you soon. Bye.
Come back, come back.
Bye.
Bye.